In case you guys forgot, just a reminder, my name is Max. I want to tell you guys a story about how I came to move to Israel and a bit about myself now. So, my story begins when I was in high school. Originally, I had no interest in Israel. I went to public school. You guys have heard of Esperanza High School? Anyone know where that is? It's in Anaheim. I went to public school. I grew up in a religious family, but I didn't really have any connection to Israel. I didn't really have any strong connection to what was going on in the Middle East. It didn't affect my life. I was a proud Jew. I wore a kippah every day, but I didn't really know what was going on. I wanted to join the Marines. And my parents decided that it would be for my own good after high school to send me on a gap year program. I'm sure some of you have older brothers and sisters that have gone to Israel for a year after high school. So they sent me on a gap year program. I didn't really want to go. I wanted to go to college like the rest of my friends. I went, and to say the least, it was a life-changing experience. I fell in love with the country. I fell in love with the food. I fell in love with the people, how much they love each other and care for each other. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. And when I came back home, I told my parents, guys, listen, I'm really glad that you sent me on this trip because now I want to join the Israeli army. And they were like, oh, wait, what did we do? So, after that I went and I joined the IDF. I served in the paratroopers brigade. And it was a very interesting experience, being there without parents, not knowing Hebrew. I actually didn't speak a word of Hebrew when I joined the army. And they have a rule in the military that you're not allowed to speak any language besides Hebrew. So what did I do? I actually had no choice but to sit there and do my very best to learn and speak Hebrew in this situation. I'm in a combat unit. We're training with all kinds of guns and stuff every day. And I'm literally learning the language as we go. So what would happen is the commander would start yelling, I wouldn't understand what was going on, and then everyone would run and I would run. And then he would start yelling and I wouldn't understand what was going on, and everyone would do this with their gun and I would do this with my gun. Eventually I got the hang of it. And my army service really changed who I am and defined who I am today. It was such a positive experience, really life-changing. And I had met so many incredible people. And I just want to share a short story with you guys about the brotherhood in Israel and about how much people care about each other there and why it's such a meaningful place to me. So, like I mentioned earlier, I served in the war in Gaza in 2014. I'm sure you guys saw a lot of media coverage about what was going on there. So my unit was stationed in a city called Khan Yunis in the middle of Gaza. And we were in a lot of combat. We were in there for 15 days straight. We were exhausted, dirty, ready to go home. And they finally let us out. And we walked back to Israel on foot. And when we got there, it was the middle of the night. It was Saturday morning, so we hadn't had a Friday night Shabbos meal. Obviously, in weeks we hadn't had Shabbos. But we got back at about 3 in the morning on Saturday morning. And there was a whole Shabbos meal set up waiting for us. We ate, we slept. And then we realized that in the morning when we woke up, it was Saturday during the day, especially for me as a lone soldier. I couldn't contact my parents who live here in California for another day and a half. They wouldn't know that I was okay and safe from war. I hadn't spoken to them in 3 weeks. They wouldn't know I was safe for another day and a half. And we were in the middle of nowhere, in the desert, in the middle of nowhere, on this little army base. And all it took was for one kid to get a hold of their cell phone and call their parents and say, Mom, we're safe, we're home from Gaza, we're here in this base in Israel. You can't even imagine what happened. The cell phone networks must have crashed. Every single parent, thousands of people, drove down in their cars. They brought us food and drinks and clean clothes and deodorant and shampoo, and they drove down to this base in the middle of nowhere just to bring us supplies and to give us love and to give us hugs. And it was so incredibly meaningful because when I went there, all my friends, all their parents were there, hugging them, so happy that they had survived the war, that everything was okay. My parents weren't there. My parents were in California. They didn't even know that I was safe yet. What happened as a lone soldier? Every single person that I walked up to that introduced me to their parents, I immediately felt like I was also their son. They immediately took me in under their wings. By the time I had made it all the way through the parking lot and met 20 pairs of parents, I thought I was going to burst from eating so much food. It was really an incredible, meaningful experience. How much everyone came together and how much everyone cares about each other. And that's one of the things that I want you guys to take away from all this. That despite everything that we saw up there, all of these blatant lies and narrative war that's going on, Israel is a place where people really care about one another. And is a place where you can really thrive as a Jew. So you want to?
So